What if the life you've been chasing is the very thing that's quietly draining you? Not just physically tired, but mentally scattered, emotionally stretched. That low-grade exhaustion that lingers even after a full night's sleep. The kind that no new purchase, no weekend getaway, no productivity hack seems to fix. You wake up and reach for your phone. Before your feet touch the floor, you are already absorbing other people's lives. Promotions, engagements, fitness transformations, new homes, new launches. The subtle message repeats itself. You could be doing more. You should be doing more. And so the day begins with pressure. We live in an age of constant expansion. More income, more growth, more reach, more self-improvement. We are told that if we just optimize a little harder, push a little further, upgrade one more thing, then we will finally feel secure and satisfied. But here is the uncomfortable truth. If you never define what enough means, you will never experience it. The world will happily define it for you. And the definition will always stretch just beyond your current reality. Psychologists talk about the hedonic treadmill. You achieve something you once deeply wanted. A raise, a new car, a bigger apartment. For a short time, your happiness rises. Then your expectations adjust. The new normal settles in, and you begin chasing the next milestone. Research shows that once your basic needs are met, food, shelter, safety, a reasonable level of comfort, the emotional return on additional income starts to shrink. Stability matters. But beyond a certain point, more money adds complexity faster than it adds joy. At the same time, decades of well-being research point to a different pattern. People who report higher life satisfaction tend to prioritize strong relationships, autonomy, meaningful work, time affluence, and a sense of purpose, not constant accumulation. Yet our culture rarely celebrates enough. It celebrates scale. It rewards visibility. It monetizes insecurity. Advertising works by highlighting what you lack. Social media amplifies what appears extraordinary. Comparison becomes automatic, and comparison is relentless. You measure your internal doubts against someone else's curated certainty. Your ordinary Tuesday against someone else's highlight reel. A simple life begins when you interrupt that cycle and ask a radical question. What is enough for me? Not for my neighbors. Not for my industry. Not for strangers online. For me. When you define enough, you create a boundary. And boundaries are powerful. They protect your time, your money, your attention, your identity. Without a clear sense of enough, desire expands endlessly. The finish line keeps moving. You run faster, but arrival never comes. With enough, you allow yourself to arrive in the present. This does not mean you stop growing. It means growth is no longer fueled by insecurity. It is fueled by curiosity and contribution. Simplicity is often misunderstood as minimalism for aesthetics. But the deeper form of simplicity is about reducing friction. Every possession, every subscription, every obligation, every digital notification carries a small cognitive cost. Individually, they feel harmless. Together, they create mental noise. Studies show that cluttered environments increase stress hormones and reduce focus. The brain must process everything in its visual field. When your space is crowded, your nervous system rarely rests. But clutter is not only physical, it is also emotional and digital. Endless scrolling fragments your attention. Constant notifications train your brain to seek stimulation. You may feel busy all day, yet strangely unfulfilled. A simple life asks, what deserves my attention? Attention is your most limited resource. Where you place it shapes your experience of reality. Busyness has become a badge of honor. Saying, "I'm overwhelmed," often sounds like the proof of importance. But chronic busyness is strongly linked to burnout. The World Health Organization recognizes burnout as a result of unmanaged workplace stress, characterized by exhaustion, cynicism, and reduced effectiveness. When your schedule leaves no margin, any disruption feels like a crisis. When you live with margin, time to think, rest, reflect, challenges become manageable. Margin is one of the hidden gifts of enough. Financially, defining enough reduces pressure. If your lifestyle requires constant expansion, you are dependent on constant performance. A higher mortgage demands a higher salary. A higher salary demands longer hours. Longer hours demand more energy than you may sustainably have. But when your needs are modest and aligned with your values, you gain flexibility. You can choose to work more intentionally. You can say no. You can rest without guilt. Research on end-of-life reflections reveals something profound. People rarely regret not earning more. They regret overworking. They regret neglecting relationships. They regret postponing joy and authenticity. A simple life is not about rejecting success. It is about redefining it. Success can mean having time for your children. It can mean walking in nature on a weekday afternoon. It can mean doing work you believe in, even if it does not impress everyone. Time in nature, for example, has been consistently associated with lower stress levels, improved mood, and better cognitive functioning. A walk without headphones can reset your nervous system more effectively than another hour online. Gratitude practices, widely studied in positive psychology, show measurable increases in life satisfaction. When you intentionally notice what you already have, the craving for more weakens. Abundance begins to feel present rather than postponed. Simplicity strengthens intrinsic motivation. Instead of chasing external validation, you reconnect with what genuinely energizes you. You read because you enjoy learning. You move your body because it feels good. You create because you have something to express. Extrinsic rewards, money, recognition, status, are not inherently wrong. But when they dominate, your sense of worth becomes fragile. If applause fades, you feel diminished. Enough stabilizes that foundation. There is also resilience in living simply. When your life is stretched to the edge financially, emotionally, and socially, you are constantly reactive. One unexpected expense, one professional setback, one conflict can destabilize everything. But when you live within your enough, you create space. Space to adapt. Space to recover. Space to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. And then there is presence. Think about some of your most peaceful memories. They are often simple. A childhood afternoon outside. A long conversation that stretched into the evening. A quiet morning with sunlight in the room. These moments did not depend on luxury. They depended on attention. The modern world offers incredible tools and opportunities. Simplicity does not require rejecting them. It requires using them intentionally. Technology as a servant, not a master. Money as a tool, not an identity. Ambition as an expression of potential, not a remedy for insecurity. The power of enough feels subtle. It feels like a deep exhale. Like no longer competing on a timeline that was never truly yours. Like waking up without the sense that you are behind. It is the confidence of knowing you have chosen your life deliberately. So why live a simple life? Because more without meaning exhausts you. Because endless comparison fragments your peace. because complexity without clarity drains your energy, and because when you define enough, you reclaim control over your direction. Take a moment and ask yourself honestly, what is enough for you right now? How much income feels secure rather than excessive? How many commitments feel energizing rather than overwhelming? How much space, validation, and growth do you genuinely need? Be specific. Write it down. Defining enough transforms it from an abstract idea into a lived boundary. I would love to know in the comments, in which area of your life are you ready to choose enough instead of more? Finances, work, relationships, digital habits? If this message resonates with you, subscribe to the Simple Life channel. Join a space where we explore clarity over chaos, depth over distraction, and intention over impulse. Remember this: the richest life is not the one that accumulates the most. It is the one that requires the least to feel whole.